Hello, everyone. My name is Ramses de Leon. I am Chief Researcher at the Parapsychological Unit of Research, Dissemination, and Education, which recently became the research unit of the newly found Research Center for Sintergia and Consciousness. First of all, I want to thank my colleagues Alfredo Silva and Alejandro Álvarez, who has also presented 2 times by now in this convention, as this research wouldn't be possible without their astonishing collaboration. This presentation, titled Coin-Based Apports, is a brief of an ongoing investigation for a presumably apport case here in Mexico City. But before we get into that, let's talk about large-scale visible psi phenomena. They are found all along the history of parapsychology, particularly in physical mediumship studies and related to some outstanding individuals. They are also difficult to encounter, but even harder to replicate in controlled environments. Thanks to previous research, some criteria of a particular occurrence may point towards particular phenomena, like macro-psychokinesis, place memory and hauntings, recurrent spontaneous psychokinesis, aka poltergeist cases, or operational cases. But even the most psi-enthusiastic researcher would tread carefully attributing scientific validity to the most fringe physical phenomena such as levitation, materialization, and teleportation. The case we are studying belongs to this category. The term apport is used to describe the paranormal appearance or transference of object to other locations. Presumable instances of this phenomena has been documented mainly in physical mediumship cases during the spiritualism apogee between 1850 and 1920. Investigating some of the most famous mediums of their age, Frank Kloski, Eusepe Palladino, and Daniel Home, to mention a few. Apports have been scarce in the last century. Nonetheless, it has happened in the presence of some seeder groups like the Felix Experimental Group and the Society for Research on Rapport and Telekinesis. There's also been reports of non-mediumistic individuals experiencing mediumistic-like phenomena, such as the table tipping of Ariel Farias, the photography of the Sirius, the apports of Amir Midden before he became a medium, and materializations by the gold leaf lady in Florida. But alas, well-documented apport cases in the last 100 years may be counted with the fingers on one's hand. Moving forward, I'll use the term apport as a presumable non-confirmed apport event. Saying presumable apport again and again would be a little bit tiresome. The case at hand develops in Mexico City, surrounding a 55-year-old married salesman who we will refer as HM. He's wealthy but not rich, unaffiliated to mediumship, and with presumable recurrent apports since 2016. The apport objects are usually well-preserved coins on mint conditions from Mexico and other countries, but medals, withered flowers, and even apples have been reported to appear as well. Furthermore, raps, whispers, scents, and orbs have also been reported by him, family members, and employees. The phenomena have endured through 3 different houses and with different family and employee configurations. After the onset of the phenomena, he has emotionally journeyed through fear, curiosity, and finally acceptance. He also has traveled to China, India, Turkey, and Japan, studying acupuncture and distant healing, among others, in his search for answers. He has even taken parapsychological courses at the Rhine Education Center and the KPU at Edinburgh. Some coins were lost at the beginning as being advised by a medium. HM used them to buy religious candles for guiding lost souls to the afterlife. Even so, the coins kept appearing. HM has mentioned on multiple occasions that he has no interest in economical gains or fame, and we believe he is truly driven by scientific inquiry. For full disclosure, at least 90% of the research instruments and clinical studies has been paid by HM. He has no association whatsoever with our research unit, nor we have been paid to do this study. Even so, over $3,000 US have been spent on this investigation. We have proceeded with a cooperative inquiry group paradigm, including HM in the design, operationalization, and definition of the variables of the study. There are several qualitative and quantitative measurements in this study, including the installation of 6 HD cameras, all with 15 meters infrared and audio recording capabilities. The storage allows us to review up to 10 days of continuous recordings on each device. We also conducted a video analysis of recordings and supplementary videographic material provided by HM, including 30 minutes before and 10 minutes after each of the events. We realized a numismatic analysis of the Mexican coins and several unstructured interviews with HM, his family, and employees regarding the social dynamic, cultural backgrounds, and family history. Neurological, psychological, and clinical studies were included. Most of these were carried out at the Hospital Ángeles Lomas, the 3rd best hospital in Mexico according to Newsweek's rankings. Finally, most of the phenomenology of each apport has been documented, including the object's picture, description, date, time, the mood of HM, the location, and subjective perception of the experience, though some of this data is still being documented and processed. So, first, the non-relevant results. The EEG results were normal without focal or generalized epileptic activity. The MRI exploration showed no evidence of intracranial hemorrhage, infarct, midline shift, or mass effects. Clinical analyses were mostly normal, though a prediabetes diagnosis was found. Complete blood count showed no relevant alterations, and the urine analysis and thyroid profile were within the normal limits. This was run by at least 6 different medical doctors and clinicians and was very expensive. But hey, at least we got a pretty picture for this slide. Okay, let's go on, continue. 14 cognitive and projective psychometric tests were applied at the Instituto Mexicano of Neurociencias, which you can explore on the right side of this slide. According to the Weisler scale, HM has an average brilliant intelligence, and further exploration revealed depressive episodes and a differential diagnosis for ADHD. The psychological reports also mentions an emotional dysregulation associated with a feminine figure, probably driven by the lack of emotional support and distancing of his mother before passing away. There's nothing particularly relevant to the apport manifestations. The depressive episodes were conscious and mentioned by HM before, as his mother and fatherly figure passed away in 2020. And though this may be relevant for newer apports, it doesn't explain the ones starting since 2016. I enjoyed really doing this slide. We have registered at least 61 apported coins, though fruits and wither plants have also been reported, as well as raps, whispers, scents, and orbs. From the 6 foreign coins, HM has visited countries which use their respective currency, except the Czech crown, as he has not visited Czech Republic yet. From the 55 Mexican coins, there's 3 coins of 1 peso, 4 of 5 pesos, 11 of 10 pesos, and 37 of 20 pesos. Some of you may think, well, it's obvious because most of the apported coins are from Mexico. But if you're not Mexican, you probably don't know the currency circulation over here. So I made you a pie chart. I can say from experience that I use most of these coins every day, except the 20 pesos coin. Those are rare, like 0.18% of the total Mexican coins rare. According to the latest report in June from the Banco de Mexico, and more than 60% of the apported coins are from this denomination. It's actually a nice collection. Finally, considering myself to be more of an experimental parapsychologist, I'm glad to at least have a p-value to share in this research, as it's significantly improbable that 61% of the apported coins were of 20 pesos, if apported coins have a normal distribution. Let's continue. Here are the planes of HM's home. The camera location and angles were arranged to maximize the possibility of recording the most active areas of the house, stated by HM. And please don't mind the non-Euclidean field of vision of the cameras. They're a little bit messy, as I'm no architect. So you can see 3 cameras were installed in the first floor, 1 in the living room, 1 in the dining room, and 1 in the middle of the stairs. On the right plane, you can see the second floor, which most activity happens here, principally in this area before the stairs. There's a studio in the lower left corner, the room number 2 on the upper left corner, which has a camera, and the main room in the right side with another camera. It's worth noting that the stairs camera can reach this floor as well. This is the same camera. Okay, on the third floor, there's 1 camera, the washing room, and an exit to a closed garden over here. Finally, you can see the general visibility of the cameras here. And all the cameras were installed on June 12th and have continuous recording for at least 10 continuous days. Now let's move on to the good stuff. An event was reported on June 30th at 11:14 in the night. Only HM and his wife were at their home at the time. And the video analysis showed that HM was in room number 2, over here, with the doors closed. And HM wife's, which I'll refer as HW, walked a few times between the main room and this middle bathroom over here. We didn't see any throwing or dropping maneuvers from HW, but these can't be discarded. Furthermore, as you can see, the stairs camera missed the location of the apported, the final location of the presumable apported coin by a few centimeters. No metallic or anomalous audio was recorded during the event, and though we can't really point out when was the coin presumably apported, but it seems to have happened approximately at 11:09 hours in the night. Next event. On July 7th, we received a message at 9:07 in the morning from HM telling us that the coin fell in the main room. This time, only HM and his wife were at the house, but HM wife was locked in the main bedroom, which we could confirm with this mirror in this camera. The video analysis show HM discussing with her and going for his coat from the main room to room number 2 and then returning back. And at 8:57, with 2 seconds, a metallic noise was recorded as HM's wife was locked in the bathroom and HM was off camera for 5 seconds prior to the event. But it can be heard that he was distracted talking to his dog, Monty. Then again, the camera missed the coin location by a few centimeters, though the video analysis doesn't show a vertical fall of any object in this trajectory. In conventional physics, one would need to assume that the coin fell for only 5 centimeters or less, or it had an inclined trajectory with a miraculous precision to not appear on the camera. Here's a little clip from that event. So, as you can see, HM was returning from room number 2, then turns back to talk to his dog Monty, who is over here. And as he is looking to the other side, the coin fell approximately 2 meters away from his back. Let's watch it once more. Okay. So this may disappoint some of you, but this is the final event, at least until now. HM reported another apport in the midnight between July 16th and 17th. He was excited as there were only him and his wife in his home and in the main room, and she was again in the bedroom, and he was displayed on camera laying in his bed browsing his phone. I quickly checked out the camera, which seemed to be processing the current video. These cameras recorded the video for a few minutes, then process it and then save it. So they keep recording, then process it and save it again. So while I waited, I checked that the camera still had the memory card and the continuous recording option, and I could still see HM lying in his bed. Even so, and coherent with the literature, you'll probably need to trust me on this one, as there's no evidence of it. There's no evidence from, there's no video from 11:03 p.m. in the night until 12:10 a.m. Though the camera was turned on and the configurations weren't changed. This is the only camera that experienced issues with the continuous recording. It's also worth noting that the video HM sent me regarding the event did not contain any audio. His cell phone worked well before that and has continued to record with audio after that. Furthermore, the dining room camera changed its angle without any presumable intervention at 11:56 hours with 59 seconds. The sum of the whole event seems like a bunch of coincidental devices behaving funny all at once, or it's maybe an indicative of some form of electromagnetic pulse. It's worth remembering that Stanley Krippner reported the significant correlation in geomagnetic activity after the apports registered by Amir Miden, though his team couldn't obtain a big enough sample. In any case, the cause of these 3 events is currently inconclusive. I want to close with some comments on the elusiveness of this phenomena. We tested the cameras with continuous recordings at least 1 week prior to the installation of them. Even so, 5 of the 6 memory cards broke down shortly afterwards. Every apport has been centimeters away from the recording angle, or not at all, as per the last event. There's at least 2 reports of bills appearing and disappearing afterwards. I commend this, as bills have a serial number, at least we could have tried to track down those, but coins are more difficult to track. Nonetheless, the trickster phenomena shouldn't be strange to anyone in parapsychology, and one instance of similar elusiveness was reported by the legendary Stanley Krippner on the Amir case. In an interview in New Thinking Aloud with Jeffrey Mishlove, he states that his team actually recorded the apports of Amir only to be welcomed with a white line on a black background on every recording. In the case of Keiji Munji with mixed results, Stephen Brody also mentions videographic problems.
So I actually want to check out that the video because I want to show you some additional data. There's additional sensors that we will install. We will talk about that in a later occasion probably. So, okay, since I recorded that video, I have new data that I wanted to share with you. In the 24th of July, 2 days ago, HM was sleeping and on camera. You can see him over here. And HW was in the bathroom that we can confirm over here. A coin fell away from the camera angle, but you can hear it bouncing. Here's a quick video. Hopefully you can hear that. And in the 25th of July, yesterday at the night, HM wasn't at home, HW was entering the room and a coin fell. I haven't been able to analyze all the videos of that event, but it was also off camera. Nonetheless, this video was for today, almost 3 hours ago. 26th of July, at the event, HM wasn't at home, HW was at the bathroom. And there's other 2 persons in the house, but thanks to the stairs camera, I can confirm that the main room door was closed at 12:00:25 with only HW and Bonzi, the dog, inside the room. The bedroom door is shut at 12:01:04, and the coin is presumably apported at 12:05:55. So we still can't say we have evidence of a coin being actually apported. And even though the latest coin was presumably apported of the camera angle, we can see the trajectory. And we really can confirm that the bedroom door was closed, and also the room, because we have a camera in the stairs. So here's some pictures of the unseen side of the room. You can see the camera up there. And it's interesting that HW have been in the bedroom for almost all the events, but the bedroom door does not have a slit where you can throw coins from and make that trajectory that you've just watched. Bonzi, the dog, is a little puppy who would probably have a difficult time learning how to throw coins at the air out of camera when no one else is watching. Final slide. But first of all, I want to thank John Cruz for informing us about this case and the outstanding work he's doing during this convention. I hope the attendees have watched Eric Zolin presentation earlier on. If not, you should. But there's some additional support to the camera operating phenomena. You can see here. Moreover, Eric presented evidence of 20% of the gold and coronal collections happening for more than 2 years, and also 7% of the Hausmann River collection case. It's important to consider new theories of poltergeist phenomena that are coherent with the insights of these cases, as the classical model of poltergeist agents is barely supported by empirical research and may be inaccurate. The Ventola and colleagues' transliminal this-is model of poltergeist agents seem to fit better with this particular case, without any pathology manifested by the agent or the system around him. This model has 8 characteristics that we'll take into consideration into phase 2 of this research, along with the other sensors that were in the previous slide. There's a video on that topic that you can watch on the PH YouTube channel. I'll leave that link in the chat. And finally, I recently asked HM why he wanted the coins to appear on the video for this particular presentation. He knew it was today that presentation. And I close with his words. Even though I have convinced myself through the clinical analysis that I'm not crazy, having a coin on camera would be evidence that there's some meaning and hope, that there's something more of what we can only see here. Thanks for your patience. I'm open for any questions if there's any time left.
Thanks, Ramses. You made that switch so smooth. It was worked out so well. I don't think people have had time to put questions into the chat because it's a pretty impressive case, and you actually caught something on camera.
Yeah, 3 hours ago. So sorry that I couldn't watch some of the presentations, but I was analyzing that stuff.
And so we really don't. We have just a couple minutes for questions, you know. So have you considered putting more cameras?
Yeah,
And to try
sorry,
to
I didn't
cover-
add that one. I actually, HM has agreed for 3 additional cameras, also one on the other side of the room, so we can have full visibility. Though I may assume that maybe the phenomena will disappear then. I don't know. Let's see.
Why do you think it will disappear if you have more cameras?
Well, the elusiveness of the phenomena is just something very recurrent. I actually, in a personal opinion, I may be a little bit happier that non-coin has been appeared because I don't know, it's coherent with the literature. It may be really something there happening with this trickster phenomena.
Yeah,
But
and
we'll see. I don't know.
and these phenomena were occurring before you even started doing your investigation, so it's clear that this is not your influence on the situation.
Yeah, I mean, I can't be discarded, but there's many previous cases, well, events.
So can we expect that there might be escalation of events after you remove the cameras?
Well, let's see.
People are referring to the trickster phenomena, which we often have conversations about. So people were asking about maybe having cameras that have filters on them that might catch other light that might not be visible, maybe infrared or ultraviolet that might be able to catch some other potential activity.
Yeah, of course. I mean, there's many sensors that we want to install, but usually the cost of the equipment is principally the first limitation. That's another point towards HM. He has paid for almost all of the equipment. We made personally the installation. The testing was done by a third party, but he's really interested on what's happening. And but if anyone wants to fund the study, we're welcome to install all the cameras that you want.
Well, not all of us have coins dropping out of the air into our houses. So Ramses, thank you very much.